Welcome to Geocache Adventures, the podcast where we explore everything geocaching. I'm your host, Shadow Dragon 1. I love geocaching. If you're listening to this, you probably love it too. If you enjoy the podcast, consider sharing it with somebody that you think would love it. You can also follow the podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and there's a Facebook group as well, so you can join in the fun and share your adventures. There's also a Patreon page that you can join and unlock exclusive content. Hi, everybody. Amy, Shadow Dragon 1 here, and with me today is Lisa from Cache Advance. Thank you for so much for joining me today.
Well, thanks so much for having me on. I'm excited to talk with you.
I'm excited too. To start off, can you tell us what is your geocaching name and how did you get started geocaching?
Sure. Well, my name is Lookout Lisa. I love forest fire lookouts and hiking up to them and hiding and finding caches. I started geocaching back in 2002. So I've been doing it for 22 years now. I think it was a newspaper article, and that was talking about geocaching. I thought this one's kind of interesting. And at the time, I was working at the Washington State University full time and working on my master's degree at night. So I was actually on campus for 12 hours a day. I'm like, I got to get off campus and go have some adventures. So I thought, well, let's try out this geocaching thing. And I went camping up in Idaho, which is just across the border from me here in Washington State. Found my first cache, ammo can in the woods, and I was immediately hooked.
Nice. 12-hour days. That's pretty crazy.
It was long.
So you're going to talk to us today about Cache Advance. So for people who may not know much about Cache Advance, can you tell us a little bit about what it is and how it got started?
Yeah, well, I founded my company in 2005. So next year, we're actually going to be celebrating 20 years in business.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe I'm the longest standing business here in the US. So yeah, so in 2005, I was done with my master's degree. So I had all this free time on my hands. And I was thinking about, now, what's next? And, where am I going to, maybe perhaps start a different job or do something different? And although I was still working on campus at the time. And so I was talking with a friend and I thought, well, I guess I could just start with maybe, picking up a Christmas job doing temporary sales or something. So, but it's really going to cut into my geocaching time. And she just looked at me and said, Lisa, why don't you start a business around geocaching? And immediately, right there over lunch, I just had this idea for my very first product, which is Dr. B's Cache Repair Kit. And I thought, I don't think anybody's doing anything like this. So I did some research, got on the forums, this is kind of pre-Facebook, and talked to the Small Business Administration and put together my first product, and it immediately sold out. And Cache Advance
Wow.
was born. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun. I've discovered over the years that I love product design and doing exciting, unique, um, different things for geocachers and bringing it to market or just sharing it, with my local geocaching community as well.
So when you started your company, did geocaching.com have their store set up yet?
That's a good question. I believe they did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they did. They
Okay.
had a few things. Um, And originally I started actually on eBay,
Oh,
just to get a start, and then quickly realized that I wanted to have my own e-commerce website. So I got that started in early spring of 2006. And very shortly thereafter, actually geocaching.com reached out to me and wanted to buy some of my products. So that was really exciting. And I had other geocaching companies reach out to me and want to resell some of our Cache Advance products at the time. And so I had to rework my business. I was more used to retail and how to think about wholesale. So, I and then my resellers can all be successful together and how to, make that happen. So that was kind of the first pivot that I did with my company.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When you get that first call or email from geocaching.com and they want your product, were you like, my gosh, this can't be real? Like, were you just so excited you were over the moon? I imagine it was a very big deal for you.
It was a really big deal. Yeah, back then, my store was in my basement at my house. And, we're just getting products on Amazon and also, through our regular retail e-commerce site. And then I would have people show up at my door and want to shop my basement.
Oh, wow.
But, but yes, definitely when geocaching.com reached out, it was like, I think I'm really on to something here. And we've had a fabulous relationship ever since. So we actually design products together and work together on future launches and such for some of their products or our products that we can market through them as well.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Did you find it difficult to ramp up your production to be able to support other suppliers?
Yes, absolutely. I had a lot of help, hired help, friends, other cashiers that would come in and help me, put products together. Packaging, I had to learn about barcodes and packaging and all of those sorts of things as well. And so yeah, it was a huge learning curve and it was a lot of work. And eventually, in 2010, I quit working at the university and quit that full-time job there. Plus, my grant had run out that was supporting me. So it was a 4-year grant that ran for over 5 years. Yeah. And so, I started doing my business full time.
That's awesome. That's a very short time. It seems to me it's a very short time to go from a basement company to supporting yourself with it. And that
Yeah,
6 year stretch there.
it was just 5 years. Yeah, yeah. And then 4 years after that, was it 4 years? I believe it was 4 or 5 years, is when I opened up my first retail location as well, brick and mortar.
Wow. And where is that brick and mortar location at?
It has come and gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I had to move a few times, but currently I do have a warehouse, but we're just not open to the public. It's not a thing anymore. 6, 7 years ago, I had multiple employees and a really fun store that was also kind of our clubhouse for our local geocaching community. But anymore, it's just folks are products are so easy to get these days that they're not going to go out of their way to go to a store. We all know the joy of online shopping. So I have dialed back to that, even though that's where I started 19 years ago was e-commerce. So now we're basically back online.
Okay. So I gotta ask, do you still offer that very first product, your cash repair kit?
I do. Yeah, Dr. B's Cash Repair Kit. We have changed the products that go into it, the inventory. Originally back in 2005, geocaches were very different then. And the Dr. B's Cash Repair Kit was really more like first aid for Tupperware. Yeah, there was Velcro and tape and, different sorts of things that you would need to fix a large container. These days, it's quite different. It's really more of just a maintenance kit. It's more baggies, logbooks, pencils, other different items because caches are a lot smaller and a lot simpler these days
Yes.
than they were.
Your logbooks, are they all Right in the Rain logbooks?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Right in the Rain is actually a Washington State company. So,
Oh, is it?
yeah. So we love working with them. They're not local to us. They're on the other side of the state, but yeah, they're Washington, semi-local.
What are some of the other various products that people can get on your site?
Yeah, well, our e-commerce part of my company anymore is a very small part, actually, of our company, of Cash Advance. Our biggest product, if you want to call it a product, is the Cache Crate, which is our monthly subscription box for geocachers. And that one, it has its own URL. That's cachecrate.com, but there is also a link to it from our website. And we have multiple different subscriptions there, T-shirt club, a couple of different trackable clubs as well. So if you want to get just a trackable, or if you want to get the whole box, the T-shirt, the trackable, you've got lots of different options there. And we have a course online for puzzle solving. That
That's
is,
fairly new, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, yeah. We just launched that about what, 2 months ago. And it's a standalone course that folks want to check it out. Once you buy it, you own it. It's something that you can keep. It doesn't, it's not a recurring fee like a membership
Okay.
or that sort of thing. Yeah, and that's been super successful. We've sold a lot of those.
I can imagine because that's always a common thing is, question that I hear is how do I solve puzzle caches? But there's so many different types.
Mhm.
It's hard to answer that question.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is just the first course, and that will be a series of courses just for that reason. This one focuses on substitution puzzles and how to solve those. So I have material for another, I think, 10 plus courses that when I get around to them, we'll be putting those together that folks can then check out as well. And people that have bought one of our courses would be able to get discounts if they already own one of our courses.
Okay.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We'll be getting more of those out. I'm not really sure when exactly. I've got a lot of things on my plate right now.
And those are just an online video course, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So it's something you do at your own time. You don't have to attend, a class or a Zoom call or anything like that. It's all pre-recorded. And there's workbooks and workbook answers, and you can earn badges. It's really fun how the course came together. I just love technology and putting, like I said, fun stuff, unique things together to help inspire geocachers.
How did that puzzle league all come together?
Yeah, well, the Puzzle League was something different actually.
Oh,
Um,
was it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that was a membership that we started a little over 4 years ago, in 2020, actually, when the pandemic started. So, back then, if you might remember, in March of 2020, the world shut down.
Yeah.
We couldn't get together. We couldn't go to events. Really, geocaching shut down. Can we even touch a geocache if somebody else has touched it or been there? We just didn't know a lot of things. And actually, one of my mentors challenged me and said, so, what can you do to help your people, to help your audience? And I got to thinking, well, the number one thing that I always hear, just like you, Amy, is how do I solve puzzles? I struggle with puzzles. And puzzles for us here in Washington, that's something that when it's a bad weather day, we stay home and we solve puzzles. So I thought, well, let's put together something to do with puzzles. And I know how recurring revenue works with my Cache Crate subscription box. So what about some sort of ongoing training where we could do, some live, some pre-recorded, and then folks could get together and work on not pre-existing puzzle caches, but learning how to solve specific types of puzzles. So I reached out to Coley Long, and he agreed to work with me on that. And we had a fantastic about a year and a half of putting together different lessons and working with geocachers. And it was just a lot of fun, and folks really enjoyed doing that. But it kind of ran its course, and so decided to give that a rest for some time and bring it back as parts of it as courses.
Okay, so the puzzle courses, are they just called Do they have a specific name? Are they
The
just
first
called
one,
puzzle courses or?
yeah, the first one is the substitution puzzle course.
Okay, so each course will just is named based on the type of puzzle,
It will be,
essentially.
yeah.
Okay.
I just have one out right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you got me thinking. I'm gonna have to look that up. Exactly what that name is.
But you just refer to them as the puzzle courses versus a name like the Puzzle League was something completely separate.
Correct. The Puzzle League
Okay.
was an ongoing membership where these are just standalone courses.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the Puzzle Pro course, Substitution Secrets
Okay.
is the number one, the first one that's out right now. Yeah.
What kind of response have you had to that? You said it was pretty popular.
Yeah, pretty good. Sold over 100 of them. So, and I'm not actively promoting it right now. So I only promote one section of my business at a time. So I'll probably go back to that one, but we still do receive, folks coming in and asking questions about it or purchasing it. And yeah, the reviews, feedback that I've had is that it's a lot of fun. People have learned a lot. And they're able to solve some of their puzzles that have been stumping them for some time. So that's cool. I think besides multi-caches and earth caches, puzzle caches are one of those that people avoid. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, like we don't even know where to get started. And I felt the same way for a long time until one of our local cachers that I would go hiking with, he loved solving puzzles and he got me interested in learning how to do them more. And ever since then, I've really enjoyed them. And you get a double aha with puzzles. You get that aha when you solve it, and then you get the other aha when you actually find it, with the cache container when you've unlocked the coordinates to it. So that's what I want to help other cachers have that same experience.
That's very cool. Going back to your cache crate boxes,
Mhm.
what can people expect to find in those if they get a subscription?
Yeah, well, those vary every month. It's going to be something different. It's always a secret. Um, but we've been doing those for 9 years now. I actually launched that in 2015. So we're going to be starting our 10th year coming up soon with the cache crate boxes. And it's a variety of things that geocachers would want while you're out geocaching. So you've got obviously containers, trackables, cache maintenance items, um, and different things to help keep the actual cacher, comfortable while you're out, such as bug spray, that sort of thing. Probably not a spray, but wipes. Can't really mail sprays, but we can do the wipes, that sort of thing, first aid kits. So it's just a wide variety. And we know everybody caches differently and not everybody hides caches. So we don't always put a cache container in every box. They're rarer. And same with the trackables. Not everybody wants to get a lot of trackables, but some people they really like trackables. So we've got different options there with a trackable add-on or just the trackable. We can just send that as well as a standalone subscription.
Okay. So, with 20 years coming up next year, do you have plans to celebrate that?
I do actually. And yeah, I'll be getting more information out about that um, probably in the next month or two. So stay tuned. I can't let the cat out of the bag right now.
That's
But
fair.
next year is also, a big year with block parties
Yes.
and special events that are going to be happening around the world. And so it's just coincidental. It's our 20th year at Cash Advance as well. Um, so yeah, I've got some big plans coming up.
So, if people want to watch out for any announcements from Cash Advance, where should they go?
Yeah, well, the folks that always hear from me first are those on my text or my SMS. Um, list. So we'll send out, special text messages and then emails, our email list. So you can get all of that on our website over at cache-advance.com. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, there's a place where you can sign up for our newsletter and such. And then, of course, we've got a Facebook page. We're on Instagram. Those are the main places there, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Probably should have asked you this before we started, but do you want to talk about your podcast that's coming out, or do you want to hold on to that?
No, I'm happy to talk about that if you are all right with that.
Okay, yeah. So you also have a podcast coming out in the near future.
I do.
What can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Well, thanks for asking. Yeah, something that I've been mulling around for a while, and it's just become the time to do it. So, like I mentioned earlier, I've got a lot of projects going on right now, and that's one of them. So, you're way ahead of me here because you've got yours going, you've got your tech mostly dialed in, and I'm just learning all of that. So I have another mentor that is a podcast expert that I've been able to work with. So I'm excited about learning a lot. So I'm still in the learning phase, but we're already, getting ready to start doing some interviews and ramping up. So the podcast is going to be called Cash Like a Girl. And my thinking about this is that the majority of podcasts that are out there are guys, which is great. The majority of cachers were guys back when I started. And there's very few female voices. And you're definitely one of them that is out there. And so I want to bring more female voices and hear more stories from lady cachers. And so it's going to be interview based, much like what you and I are doing here, and just getting to know different women that are actively involved in all the different aspects of geocaching. And I also have some guy allies that are dying to get on my podcast as well. So it's going to be a variety of different folks, but I'll be series based. Um, my
Oh,
plan, yeah. So I'm not going to be coming out, every week or every other week. So it'll be just more of series based types of interview process but like I said, just bringing more female voices out to the public.
sounds awesome. Do
Thanks.
you have an anticipated launch day set yet, or is it still kind of in the air as you're figuring things out?
It's still a little bit in the air. I would love to be launched by the time of going caching, which is early October.
Okay, so not too
So
far away to wait for.
I know it's not, and I have so much work to do. The URL is out there. It's cashlikeagirl.com. And to get updates about that, there's a sign up right there. So you can sign up, and then I'll be sending out updates as we get things rolling, behind the scenes, that sort of thing. Fun tidbits coming up there, but hopefully early August or early October. And that's also my birthday weekend. It's the same weekend. So it's always fun to launch things. October is one of my traditional launch months. That's when I launched Cash Advance, was in October of 2005.
Oh, so that's very fitting then.
It is. Yeah. So fingers crossed it'll be coming out soon.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in that, and I'm sure it'll be well received. You already have quite the following with Cash Advance and the Cash Crate, so I'm sure everybody will be just on edge waiting to hear your first podcast.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I've received so many positive feedback, when I've just kind of mentioned that it's coming, stay tuned. People have been really excited about it. I got to go to Midwest Geobash this year and promote it there, and folks were really excited. I was just thrilled at the variety of different types of geocachers that are really excited about either being on it or hearing it. or watching it. My plan is to actually do videos as well.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
That's really great. You're already getting such good feedback and it hasn't even launched yet. That's really exciting.
I know it's pressure.
I can imagine it's a bit of pressure.
Just a little. Yeah, but that's okay.
Oh,
I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be fun. And over my 22 years of geocaching, I've met a lot of cachers and a lot of cachers that I know their story needs to be heard more. And so I'm excited to do that, to help that.
that's awesome. Well, you have two cache highlights for us this evening or morning, or I guess whatever time of day people are listening to.
I do. Yeah. Which one do you want to hear about first?
Let's talk about the one that you have hidden first. And that one, if I have these in the right order, is the Doctor Who redo.
Mhm.
And that
Yeah.
is GCA1FWP.
Right. Yeah. So that one is actually in front of my warehouse. So if you
Oh.
don't do it, you get to see where the warehouse is. It's very nondescript. We don't have any signage out or anything, but it's a TARDIS. And it is a really cool blue TARDIS that some local cachers made the exterior portion of it, and then Goblin Dust. If anyone has heard of Goblin Dust, he does some amazing gadget caches. He often does geo tours for HQ. He's over in the Seattle area, and he did the phone portion of it that goes on the inside. And so it's a gadget cache in a TARDIS. And it's been around for a little while. We actually launched it first um, in a that the first was archived, but it was in front of my retail store, and it was part of our first geo tour, the Spokane History Geo Tour. That was nine years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. But during the pandemic and this and that, we had to archive it. And so it's a brand new, not brand new, but it's been out for a few years, but it's a new GC code. And but it's how it works is a little bit different on the inside. If you've done it before, the first one, you have to do something different now to actually gain access to the cache container. So it's just a really fun one. It's fun when, I might be working at the warehouse and I'll hear people, giggling or working out, hear noise out front. And I realize, oh, a geocacher out there.
So
So,
I'm looking at some pictures on the geocache site, and it is a full size exterior, and then you open up, looks like two doors to get
mhm,
to the phone portion. That is
correct.
very cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like a little mini closet in a way.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is the way it sits, it looks like it's, how the TARDIS materializes in Doctor
Hmm.
Who. It looks like it materialized like in the middle of the building. So it's kind of just coming out because it's only half depth of what the real TARDIS looks like on TV.
That's very cool. It
Yeah.
looks I wow. Now I want to get up there and go do this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool cache. It was just really neat how different cachers, use their special powers, Goblin Dust with his gadget caches and the three dachshunds with their woodworking skills to put it all together. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun over the years and its various materializations.
That's very cool. So then the one that you have found, which is called Hot Rocks, and it's GC3E4E.
Yeah, as you can tell, that's an oldie one,
It is
old one.
oldie. It has been archived.
Yeah, I was so sad when it was archived. I think that was back in 16. Um, it's been around for a long time. It is on the big island of Hawaii. And it was actually a kind of a moving virtual. And let's see, how do I back up? Well, first I'll talk about the cache and then I'll talk about why it's important to me. So it was where the lava flow was. So
Ah.
yeah, so this was back, rules were different. Or maybe there weren't any rules when this one was hidden, actually, probably. And all you had to do was get as close as you could to the coordinates based on active lava flow or not active, if you could get close, and then just report in your log whatever coordinates you were at and or where you were and
Oh.
picture that sort of thing. And then if there were a lot of lava movement, they would update the coordinates. So it'd be, the next cachers would be able to find it more easily. So that's kind of a really unique thing way back in the day. And what why it was so interesting to me, growing up here in Washington, Mount St. Helens blew up in 1980.
Yes.
And yeah, and my hometown received an inch of ash and it shut down the world. We thought it was kind of like, COVID for a few days, but with all this ash everywhere.
Yeah.
And that just fascinated me. Geology has always fascinated me, and the study of volcanoes and rocks and plate tectonics and all of that. And so when I learned about this particular cache and had the opportunity to go visit it, Mount St. Helens came to me, literally, parts of it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, shoveled a lot of it. And I wanted to go to see active lava flow. That's very different than an ash flow because Mount St. Helens wasn't lava. Well, we were lucky. There has been a lot of lava history back, millions of years here, but in Hawaii, it's just the slow moving lava flow. So it was really cool to go to the park. I spent a good full day there. They recommend that you go at sunset to see the active lava flow. And so I spent the fun day hiking around, getting other caches, and then went down at sunset to where the flow was. But it was too new. They had active flow that day, and we couldn't get close enough. They brought
Oh.
us back. Yeah. And so I wasn't able to get close enough to log the cache, really technically. And but it was there another day. So they said, come back tomorrow. It's a very predictable flow and how the volcano works. And I said, come on back tomorrow and you should be able to get much closer. So I did. Went back the next day. And sure enough, we actually were able to walk out over 24-hour-old rock that had just solidified from lava. I got to see molten
Wow.
lava just, 10 feet away from me. And that was just a real highlight. God, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. It was just a real highlight of my trip. Just to, well, one, being in Hawaii, it's just a wonderful place to be. And the Big Island was unique in so many ways, but to be right there where the earth is being made new. And a lot of cash. I got a smiley. It was just an amazing bonus.
That is so cool. Wow. 24-hour-old rock. That is to think about that. I never thought of it that way before with lava flow, but that's exactly what it is. It's new rock, new earth. And we don't think of rocks as being so young.
Right? Yeah, most rocks that we see are very old.
Right.
Yeah, and so this was really, really fun to see, the island rebuilding itself, basically. That's how all those islands have been built. And I'd been to Kauai before and a couple of times, and it's much older. And so you can see the change over the eons as what happens. So it was really cool just to see brand new rock being formed and stepping over a crack where you look down and it's glowing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, pretty hot.
I bet. I bet the
Yeah,
heat off of that is insane.
it was warm for sure. Yeah, there were some areas you weren't supposed to go, but um, most of the what they had opened up for us was quite safe. Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
yeah.
Is there anything else about Cache Advance or your upcoming podcast or geocaching that you'd like to tell us about or share with us?
Oh my goodness. Well, I do have one other thing. That is our sister company that, if you don't mind if I mention that, it is Compass Creek Designs.
Compass
And
Creek Designs. Oh,
yes, yeah, compasscreekdesigns.com. That is where we design and mint geocoins and tags and cashkins and all of that. So that is the other piece of my business that I put together back in 2014 when I purchased or acquired Cash Addict. They were the ones that originated the cashkins and also did geocoins and such. So that's the company that we use. Well, it's all part of the same company, but different aspects of it for
okay.
making geocoins and such. So we make them for ourselves, for the cash crates. We've got some really cool new ones coming out here, some that we just released, some new cashkins as well. And then for mostly for events and personal coins and such, we're making 4 different trackables actually for going caching this
Oh,
year,
wow.
final year. Yeah. And so yeah, so we're always happy to talk with other cachers and see if we're a good fit to help them connect them with the right designers if they don't have a design yet. Or if they do have a design, and then we can run with that and get their coin in hand. So that's one other thing that we also do. So I guess now we're kind of a full service doing everything
Sounds like it. Yeah.
company. Yeah. Yeah. It's something that I don't have to promote that much because we get enough business coming in, but just want to get the word out there that that is something that we do. And we're excited about it. We've done hundreds and hundreds of different um, projects and designs over the years.
So do you work a lot with the big megas events to produce coins for them, it sounds like?
Yes, we do. We do. So like Tri-Cities Geocoin Challenge, which unfortunately they're on hiatus now. They're taking a break, much like going caching will be. But that's the biggest part of what we do, our coins for. Gilby Gone Wild, you've probably heard of Gilby,
Yes.
North Dakota. We've done quite a few coins for them as well. And coin fests and mogas and lots of different um, ones that go into the event packages and that sort of
Okay.
registration things. Yeah. So generally, we don't make coins just to hope they sell. We're much more interested in helping other organizations develop their coins for them to do with what they need to do.
Is there a favorite coin design you have from that?
Oh my gosh,
I
they're all
imagine
so
it's hard to
cool.
pick.
It is.
There are so many cool coins out there.
Yeah. I think some of my favorite ones would be from the Tri-Cities Geocoin megas. Excuse me, just a sec. We've always worked with Chris Mackey on those, and he is kind of the premier coin designer. He wrote the book, literally, on how to design and produce geocoins. And that's always just been a really fun project. It's 5 different entities in the Tri-Cities. I know it sounds funny, but it's four cities and then their tourist organization um, come together and put together just an amazing geo challenge where you have to find so many caches to earn the coin. And it's been mega for years, and we've done the coin for them. And it's every year it's like, oh, the best coin ever. How are we going to make a better one? And the next year we come up with an even better one. So it was kind of a break this year, not doing one for them because since they were on break this year.
Right.
That's probably why I got my course out because I had a little extra time.
I understand what that's like. Trying to find time for all your projects is hard.
For me, it's seasons. I look at my caching adventures, different aspects of my business as seasons in a way. And when it's time, to go out and have some more adventures, get inspired, get out and do some more caching. Like going to Midwest Geobash. I hadn't been in way too long, and it was just so much fun to to actually get a lot of geocaching in and hang out with a lot of cachers. We're running a business as basically a solopreneur, I guess is the word. It can be kind of lonely at times. So I've got my lonely season, and then, getting out and doing some fun geocaching for sure.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much for coming on here and talking with me tonight and telling us about the different aspects of your business and your upcoming podcast. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me tonight.
Well, thank you so much, Amy. I really appreciate you asking such great questions and letting me share a little bit about the history and what we do here at Cache Advance.
You've been listening to Geocache Adventures with me, Shadow Dragon 1. If you'd like to get in touch, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or go to geocacheadventures.org and you can find the information on the contact page. Theme music is by The Travel Bugs. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have you heard of FTF Magazine? It's the magazine for geocachers. It is full of articles and pictures, all submitted by geocachers just like you. I'm a subscriber myself, and I love it. My favorite part is the little snippets on the edges of the articles on all the different pages. Those are my favorites. Just go to ftfgeo.com to check them out and tell them Shadow Dragon 1 sent you.